Memory replay equals identity investment, times boundless self-sentencing, times social survival coding. The higher the investment in who we appear to be, the longer the sentence runs. Strip it back. This is what remains: identity investment. For perfectionists, the self isn't just a preference, it's a performance, and the audience is always watching. Every interaction is a data point, confirming whether we are accepted or at risk of being left behind. Boundless self-sentencing. Erving Goffman observed that when our public performance breaks down, the damage isn't just social, it's existential. And unlike a court that issues a verdict and closes the case, Thomas Scheff showed that the internal conscience has no such mechanism. The review never formally ends. Social survival coding. The brain doesn't replay the memory to torture us. It replays it because it hasn't finished extracting the lesson, running the scene on loop, searching for the edit that would have saved face, simulating an outcome that has already been sealed. The system was built to protect us. It just never learned when to stop. That's exactly what we're going to break down. Why the loop persists equals performance as social worth, times zero tolerance for failure, times imagination turned against reality. The pattern was inherited. The decision to keep it is yours. Performance as social worth. Goffman's research on social interaction shows we construct a presented self in every room we enter, and for perfectionists, that self isn't just an image, it's the primary measure of value. When it cracks publicly, the brain doesn't register embarrassment. It registers abandonment risk, zero tolerance for failure. Scheff's work on shame cycles shows that highly self-conscious individuals don't process embarrassment and release it. They internalize it as evidence. The replay isn't cruelty. It's the brain's attempt to legislate against repetition, running the footage until it finds something it can fix. Imagination turned against reality. The most exhausting part of the loop isn't the memory itself, it's the simulation. The brain keeps generating alternative versions of the moment, rehearsing responses that arrive too late, rewriting lines that no longer have a stage. It is solving for a problem that has no solution because the event is already closed. Breaking the loop equals redefining social worth, times building a failure threshold, times redirecting the imagination. Each variable that learned to run one way can be retrained to run another. Performance as social worth doesn't have to mean social approval as the only currency. The third option isn't to stop caring what others think. That's not realistic, and it's not the point. It's to build a second account, something we value about ourselves that exists entirely outside the room, a standard we set privately that no audience can publicly revoke. When the presented self cracks, the second account stays intact. The brain has somewhere else to anchor. Zero tolerance for failure runs on an open file. The third option isn't self-forgiveness. That can feel like dismissing the lesson entirely. It's a closing argument, a deliberate internal statement that the review is complete. The lesson has been extracted, the file can be archived. Not deleted, archived. The brain still has access. It just no longer needs to keep the window open. Imagination turned against reality is the loop using our own cognitive strength against us. The third option isn't to stop the simulation, it's to redirect it. The same mental rehearsal that replays the past can be pointed forward. What would we do differently next time? Not as punishment, as preparation. The brain gets its simulation, it just runs on a different timeline. The loop kept running because no one showed us the exit. Now we have 3. We don't have to take all of them today, but we could start with 1 and notice what it feels like when the mind finally stops replaying a scene that has already ended and starts preparing for the one that hasn't begun.